Hello everyone, Impiator here, and welcome back to my Let's Play for Factorio. This is part 3. So, in the last episode, we ended up building our mall, and now we have that underway. We are going to want to make sure we are limiting some of our outputs, though, because we do not need that many of all of these items. So let's go for 6 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these. We'll come back and worry about this a little bit later, because we have a date with the enemy. So, we're going to go ahead and build some more ammo, I think. Never have too much ammo. We did tear down our automation for it in the last episode, because we're going to be shuffling up our build here eventually to get basically an upgraded version of firearm magazine ammo. But I think this is a good time for us to go ahead and head out to the west. In addition, I think I'm going to shuffle around this build because we are full up there. This actually has the same requirements as the radar, so we're going to go ahead and let that fill up, get us some radars. And that will enable us to start scanning the perimeter outside of our area. We also have some fish left to use. We'll probably need to use it within this episode. Otherwise, it's going to go rancid. Alright, we now have the ability to start healing our buildings. Go ahead and do that while we're here too. And also notice how they are splitting our stuff. Anytime you have damaged buildings in a stack, they basically take on the average health of the group. So, alright, so that's all of them. Let's go ahead and heal them all and pick them back up. I'll also be happy whenever we can pick up stuff faster. That'll require steel, though. Right now, picking up and mining by hand is such a slow process. Okay, so we're going to hang out over along the west side here a little bit, see if there are any enemies. Alright, doesn't look like it. We're going to head a little bit south, since our plume is starting to expand out south. Now, one thing about the radars, once we get them started, is they unfortunately they take up a lot of electricity, which is one of the reasons why we started this process of expanding our electrical grid. They also tend to be one of the most attractive things for enemies to destroy because they produce so much electricity and thereby pollution. So this is below the threshold. Oh, there's one. Let's see, how far does that plume go out? Just a little bit more. Another small one. I will probably increase the speed of this part. This part's kind of boring, just going out exploring, looking for enemies. A huge chunk of ore. That'll be useful because I know the last game that I played, I had to do trains really, really early. Probably need to kill that now. Don't have that much. Sweet. That wasn't too bad. Alright, we are almost to the cusp of the circle. Got a great deal more coal there, it looks like, if we need it to. Which, there's not really any more coal around here. We may end up having to do trains fairly quickly. I feel like only 161,000. It's not that much. Alright, so now we got that. Now we need to start thinking about green science. So that is going to be our next push. That's more than we need, but it'll be fine. All right, so we are going to start getting into green science now. And in the last episode, I ended up building a whole bunch of labs, a whole bunch of assembly machines, basically to get that process started. So I'm going to switch this back now over to mining drills, and we're going to start using radars. We obviously don't need this many of them, but I want to get the scans done soon and regularly. And let's get underway a whole bunch of boilers. Do another 10, 15. And then we'll... Oh, shoot. Okay. So we're now going to expand our power. So we are then going to take this configuration and we're going to mirror it. V for vertical flip. Then we're going to need offshore pump. One more. We're gonna need more than that. Oh, shoot. I'm offset. Ugh. As someone who's OCD, I can't allow that. I can't do it. It has to go. Okay, let's try that again. Clone. Flip. Mirror. Okay. Oops. Let's see. There's one little frustrating part about this, is you can't walk through all of this hardware. So that's going to require us to expand our coal. Pistol anymore. We don't need the submachine gun anymore. I don't know why I created 2 shotguns. Okay, and then we'll dump the burner mining drill in there too. Oh no, we're actually out! We're out of electric bows. Okay, that should fix my problem temporarily, but boy oh boy, are we quite a ways from that coal. Huh. We might have to deal with that at some point, that little problem. Probably not in this episode, though. Alright, so, We've upgraded our power. And yet we are still hitting our maximum throttle output. Ugh. We may end up having to do more of that. Oh, that's because the stuff's not coming yet. I was like, why are we running so heavy? Hot and heavy right now. All right, hopefully that stabilizes. So as you can see, they are. You can see the little white sections moving around, getting updated periodically. Those are our radars doing their job, and as you can see, they've caught some more enemies kind of on our outskirts. So really effective, in my opinion. All right, so the next thing that we're going to be transitioning towards is going to be mass science. And one of the reasons why we've been collecting over here are iron chests of inserters and transport belts is because that's going to be the source for green circuits. So we are finally ready to kind of dismantle some of this stuff. We don't need this anymore. We really don't need all of that. How can we fix this? Use up some of those. Okay. If I thought this through, I would have put caps on these chests. That's what I should have done. Alright, we'll just have to do this kind of slightly weird way while we're trying to clean up what's in these chests, but that's okay, I guess. We're going to go ahead and output these like this in a very similar fashion. What is there? Oh, another tree. I didn't see that tree. And we're going to go ahead and run these down here. On the right side, we're going to be building green circuits. As 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. Left side, we're going to be building red circuits. Okay. So once these are both consumed, we will move this over here. This will dump on the outside of the stuff. That should work out better. Let's go ahead and increase the speed of these. Make sure we get plenty out there. In fact, we're going to want to start upgrading all of these. Really. Because these are definitely a bottleneck. One of the nice things that you'll be able to do later is with your bots, you'll be able to do upgrades. Where you basically tell your bots to replace things, like replace these all automatically, which is freaking cool. Otherwise, though, we're going to go ahead and build. Let's see, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to need to carve out ourselves some more crap here. So let's talk about research. We're going to be getting into military 2 next. This will enable us to get grenades as well as higher powered ammunition, which we will start building. We're going to need them both in order to get some of the next science pack types. We're going to get into automation 2, which allows us to replace all of our automation machines with automation machines that are more efficient. They also can utilize fluid as well for some of the recipes that we need for that. We will at some point get landfill. We don't need it right now, though, and it's one that takes a while to research compared to the others. So we'll skip it for now. And then advanced material processing allows us to move up from stone furnaces to steel furnaces. And this will also require us to get into steel. I don't really use the circuit network very much in these games, but could be beneficial to you, but I am going to go for the engine. So we're going to go ahead and do military, automation, advanced material processing, engines, which will be helpful for making cars, the tool belt, energy consumption. Tool belt expands your inventory. These enable us to have kind of the next level up of power poles. Then we can do some upgrades to damage, upgrades to shooting speed, which we are out of buffer space for. But that's what we will plan for. And these research items should end up going a lot faster since we're going to have 30 machines doing research. So I'm actually going to be putting 2 here because eventually we're going to expand to another row of research packs. But for now, that's what we will start with. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically have these machines feed each other. And in fact, we'll proactively start switching to the fast inserters. So that's going to get some of these researches to finish up a lot faster. Unfortunately, these machines are still pretty slow on building stuff, but that will change once we progress into steel. which is going to be our next thing. So what we're going to be building here is going to be assembly machines, but we're not actually going to be using assembly machines going forward. We're going to be upgrading to the next level of assembly machines. And so we're going to have an output. We're also going to need a long-handed input. And does this require anything else? Gear wheels, electronic circuits. So we have two... Oh, we have 3 electronic circuits, 5 iron gear wheels, so we're probably going to want to have 3 inputs. So right now we cannot satisfy the requirements of it, and that is because we do not yet have steel. This requires iron plates, iron gear wheels, electronic circuits, so we're going to go ahead and do 2 of each. So what we're going to be doing now is working towards steel. And I'm going to paste it right to the right of this. However, we're going to need a more consistent supply of ore. So we're going to be finally adding to this balancer. I thought I'd picked up the mining drills. My apologies. Okay, so we have claimed all of that. How are we doing over here? Still only half consumption. That's good. Alright, so that's going to allow me to split off a third set. And we're going to need basically 2 rows. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We're going to stop that row there. So what's going to happen here is right now we are building this with stone furnaces. However, once we transition to steel furnaces, this is one of the things that we are going to upgrade. And that is because it will double our output of steel. However, 12 of these rows will consume all of the steel, all of the, what do you call it, the ore on one half of a belt. We still need to be able to provide for coal. So we're going to go ahead and do something kind of a trick here. So we're going to route this that way. That will ensure that we get that coming in, and then we're going to go ahead and oops, that needs to be one further back. Actually, how do we want to do this? We are going to have to set it back one more. Ah, okay. There we go. Problem is, I want it to be on the inside lane of both of these. Then when we get to the bottom here, we're going to add in another one of these. And again, the inside row here will be empty once we transition to steel. So, I'm sorry, steel furnaces. So we're going to go ahead and run down all of these. And one of the cool things is if you mouse over while you're holding left click over something that has already been placed, it will reorientate the direction that it's been placed. Oops. Okay, so now we need to get ourselves some electricity. Never enough power poles. Alright, there is our beginnings of steel. Let's pull this over here for the next thing that we're going to build later. So that will begin our steel. And we're going to want to buffer some of this. So what I've done here is I have a underground belt set up. And the cool thing about the underground belt is that it will only consume things that are on the inside. So now that I've put some of my coal here, you'll notice that it's not being sucked into the machine, into the underground belt. And so this allows me to basically arrange this so that all we're getting out of here is the steel plate. Kind of a neat trick. And then this will give me what is required. And And I'm going to slowly shift everything that I have here to the faster assembly machines. This steel will also come in handy for a couple of other things that we're going to be building a little bit later, so that's why we've got that being pulled down here too. But otherwise, that is kind of the short term what we need to do. How are we doing on pollution? So no enemies nearby. That is a good sign. We have our physical projectile damage about to be completed. And this is a time for us to go ahead and switch over this to engines. So engines need steel, they need iron gear wheels, and they need pipes. So what we're going to do here is we're going to shift this to pipes. We're going to stop inputting there, start inputting here. Oops, let me do that. And then we're going to start inputting here, keep inputting there, and then we need to carve out ourselves a little hole here. And then bring in some steel. So, what this is going to allow us to do is we're going to be able to build cars soon. That's going to be on our short list of things to get. And we need engines for cars. A few other things that we're going to need a few engines for too, including it looks like we may have to get into railway stuff sooner rather than later because we are so far away from another source of coal. So I could bring it here kind of the old-fashioned way, but I think I'm probably going to bust it in via train. We might do that in the next episode. But we just got damage output increased, so we are doing great on that. So the next thing that we're going to be getting into is starting to get ammo, because we're going to be getting into military science. And military science actually requires armor-piercing rounds, grenades, as well as walls. So there's going to be two of the things that we're going to basically start building into next. After that, we got fluid handling. This will allow us to basically collect fluid, including water, into containers. We can also do the same thing with oil. There's also a few other types of chemicals that we can make using some of the machines. So we're going to get that next. We'll go ahead and go for more lab research speed, more stronger explosives. We'll go ahead and increase our speed options for logistics, though it'll be a little while before we actually upgrade everything with that. Weapon shooting speed is great. Concrete will be good. And I think that's going to be what we kick off our research for. So, as you can see, we're not far away from both trains as well as automobilism. Ironically, automobiles and trains both run on coal, so we don't even have to get into oil to get that. So we're probably going to be getting into those pretty quickly, maybe before the end of the episode, as we do have about maybe 15 minutes to go before I think I'll wrap it up. And as you can see, we're getting our research done real quickly now that we've got so much of this going. So for now, we're going to go ahead and start limiting this to 2 stacks. I'm going to just mouse over and replace all of these. They basically all stay the same. I'm out. So let's take what I just got through picking up and feed the machine again. And we'll give that a couple minutes to produce some more. Alrighty, so what we're going to need to get into next is a long-term solution for stone. We don't need a whole lot of stone. At least not yet. But we need enough for a couple of things. So I'm going to go ahead and grab up some more of these, some more of these, some more of these. I'm going to start trading in these because we're pretty much going to move away from the normal inserters at this point. I think that'll be good. We're up to 11 on those. We can go and replace all of those. A couple more buildings to go. Let's feed that, the 11 that I just picked up. All right, so we're going to start basically a small smelting setup. Because I would like to collect both stone as well as turn some of the stone, not all of it though, into stone bricks, which will also be required for making concrete and walls later. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and feed this. We're going to use that same trick. We're going to have coal on this side, which I don't want to be fed over here. And I'm going to buffer both of these. And this is going to be where we bring in stone. I'm going to feed those. We're going to get a head start on it. Actually, I don't want to make up. I don't want to spend that much room there. Let's do it that way. Eventually, we're going to use this to make walls, but for now, this will be primarily used to make us some steel furnaces, which we will replace some of our normal furnaces with. So this is going to basically be pulling in a little bit of steel in order to do that. So kind of siphoning off a little bit. We'll go ahead and add another one here. And we'll start replacing these with that too. So let's put a cap on this. Let's do 2. Let's head down here and see how we're doing on assembly machines. Looks like we got plenty more. We'll go ahead and replace all the rest of our buildings. And then we'll go ahead and hand over what's left. So now we've completely transitioned to assembly machines level 2. We do not need these science packs anymore, so let's go give these over. Oh, we are bottlenecked right there. Okie dokie. So, what we're going to start getting into now is we need to start transitioning our ammo over to something a little heavier duty. So, we're going to be switching over to our armor-piercing magazines as well as grenades. And then this will also, we're also getting really close to being able to do cars. So, I'm going to go ahead and Add cars and railways and automatic rail transportation to the mix. And we'll tap that off with fluid wagons as well. And then we're going to go ahead and start constructing some firearm magazines. And actually, I don't think I need to do that. These require copper plates. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pull down our copper plates from over here. And we'll go ahead and use this to stop those. We'll make those input, output, output. Actually, we're going to make these output that way. I don't think we're going to need that many of them. I think this will be enough. So we're going to go ahead and output to this. Input, input, input. Output. And then we're going to need to start building into grenades as well. Grenades require coal and they require copper plates. So, iron plates, sorry, iron plates. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to split this off. We're going to pull that back a little bit. And we're going to run this up here. We need to increase the amount of coal coming into this, so we're going to split that off so that we have a line of coal. So we're going to be using up a bunch of this coal on this side here, and then we're going to build some buildings. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do 8. That's finally empty. This one's still going though. No, that doesn't go where I want it to go. Okay. We'll have to survive like that for now, because this needs to be emptied. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and run this all the way up. Alright, so we got that being created. Oh, you wait. Wait. That's coming in on the wrong side. Well, that's irritating. So I can steal these as well. Alright, so we will limit those. We're at how many? Not many. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to come up here and create a setup here. I never did that. Oops. Alrighty, so we're going to not be able to get a whole lot of this without getting into the coal, so we're going to join these together, I think. We are starting to run out of resources. That's okay. Because in the next episode, I think we're going to start getting into trains. So with that in mind, we now have our mining drill going, we have steel going, we have mass amounts of research going, we have begun the trek to military science, which is going to require lots and lots of grenades, and I think we'll go ahead and finish this off with, I guess we'll go ahead and finish that build up. So our goal is going to be to get these to the other side. need to stop that too. Yep, there we go. All right, so now we got 3 producing that. We're going to go ahead and buffer this into a chest for now. So that's going to be our red ammo. So I guess the way that we're going to do this is... No! That'll work. We're still waiting to consume all the rest of this. I guess we can go ahead and fix this since we are making a mess of this configuration. Okay, so these are going to end up both outputting like that. There we go. Not the most elegant, but it works. So now we have those coming in on the inside of this. That way our red piercing armor rounds can go on the outside. So now we can output, output, output. There we go. So now we have 2 of the 3 pieces of black sides. Next we'll be doing the walls, but we're going to worry about that in the next episode. In addition, we're starting to grow a bigger cloud, so we are going to be also getting into, I think, trains probably in the next episode, as we're starting to get low on coal, iron. So we'll plan for that in the next episode too. But until then, thank you everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Take it easy. Later.